Today I'm super excited to teach you how to make this delicious sourdough pasta. Okay, first thing is first, we need a sourdough starter. I do have a tutorial on how to make your own sourdough starter. It's so easy and I highly recommend that you have a go at it. You can make the most beautiful bread and pasta, of course. So remember the discards from feeding your starter? Well, here's one thing you can do with it. I usually save my discard in a jar and freeze it. It freezes really well. And whenever I need it, I thaw it overnight in the fridge and use it the next day. Okay, now that we're done with our starter, let's talk about flour. I like using 00 pasta flour. The reason is that it's low in gluten and it's finely milled flour. It's very soft and easy to work with. Now, if you can't find 00 flour, use all-purpose flour. Your pasta will still be delicious. Carefully make a nice size well with your hands where you're going to put your egg mixture. Here I'm using 3 whole eggs and 2 egg yolks. The reason is that I like to use more egg yolks. It will give my pasta a richer flavor. With half a cup of starter, I mix everything in a bowl because it's easier to mix, less messier. I add the olive oil, pinch of salt, give it a good whisk and put it in your well. Here I like to use a fork to bring in the flour slowly, but you're more than welcome to use your fingers. So at the beginning, bring in a little bit flour at a time, making sure your wall does not break. Then as you keep mixing, you bring in more and more flour. It does get a little messy as you're bringing in the flour. This is where I highly recommend you invest in a bench scraper. I love using a bench scraper because I can use it to help me incorporate the flour and clean my counter at all times. So making pasta dough, there is no exact measurement of how much flour you need to put in. So you have to kind of feel your dough. Here my dough is still wet. You see it's sticking to the counter. You bring in the flour very slowly and keep incorporating it into your dough. This is one kneading technique I'm showing you. It's folding and turning. So be patient making pasta. Just keep fold and turn, fold and turn. I'm not boring you here, I'm fast forwarding. Just keep doing this for about 5 to 7 minutes. And every time it sticks to the palm of your hand or on the counter, bring in a little bit more flour. Here I'm opening up the dough so you can see how I'm incorporating the flour inside my dough. It felt wet, so again, we fold and we turn. By kneading the dough, I'm activating the gluten strains and giving my dough strength and elasticity. So here I'm looking for a dough that feels tight, supple, with a smooth surface. This dough looks great, I'm happy with it. So I sprinkle a little flour on top before wrapping it up and putting it away in the fridge. I like to double wrap it because it's sourdough. It will expand a little bit more just to ensure that my surface is covered. Okay, now all the hard work is done and we let our dough rest in the fridge overnight. So this is how my dough looks when it's rested. Just to compare, when it's not rested, this is how it looks. Do you see how it expanded more and how shiny and smooth the surface is? This dough can now be transformed into something magical. This is it, guys, you've done it. So we can make ravioli, agnolottis, fettuccine, and so on and so on. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make fettuccine and angel hair. So before putting it through the pasta machine, I like to flatten it out. You could do that with your fingers or a rolling pin. So flour it sparingly wherever you think it's a little bit wet and sticking to your hands. So what we're doing, we're laminating our dough and we're stretching it. Okay, I want to show you all the little air pockets that are formed into my dough. It's a great thing, I love it, and don't be alarmed if you haven't. So I like rolling out my pasta sheet about 2 times on each setting. So I start on the thickest setting, run it through 2 times, and then work myself up usually to the second thinnest, and that's when I start cutting my pasta sheet. So overall, run the pasta through the machine about 8 to 10 times. This is a good thickness, and I'm going to start cutting it. So when I'm cutting my pasta sheet, I do flour it generously before running it through the cutter. This is only because my pasta will cut easier and it would avoid the pasta pieces sticking together. These fettuccines are looking fantastic. I'm actually going to cook them within an hour. So I can lay them down in a floured towel and let them rest a little bit before I put them in boiling water. So about half an hour to an hour before cooking them. Now here I'm making my angel hair. The same thing, I let them rest in a floured towel. If you want to dry them on a pasta drying rack for about 3 to 4 hours, depending how warm your room is, and then store them in the fridge. They will store really well in the freezer as well for a few months. So here you have it. We made fettuccine, we made angel hair, and the possibilities are unlimited, what you can do with your pasta. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.